Mackenzie was born at 38 weeks, but during labor she stopped breathing. And so our story goes from there. She was blue, purple, not normal, and having seizures. So I kind of knew then that life as we knew it really wasn't going to be what we had predicted.
It's my view that a certain amount of cerebral palsy that occurs doesn't need to have occurred in the first place. That if there were standards in place and those standards were adhered to, much of the cerebral palsy that occurs would be preventable. Cerebral palsy is damage to the developing brain, so the damage is occurring to the brain at those critical points when the brain is actually growing quite rapidly. And some of that growth then, the neurological growth, is stunted. As a consequence, there's a permanent disability. People are oftentimes intellectually intact, but have difficulty with control over their limbs or their ability to speak, their eyesight, their hearing. Other sorts of controls aren't what they would have been had they not suffered the brain damage.
I know that we were not monitored as well as we should have been. I know that they found it tricky to find her heartbeat on occasion, and even before we really even got to the birthing unit in triage, we were having issues. We were both tachycardic, which is our heart rates being elevated. So right then should have been an indicator that there's something was wrong.
It's abundantly clear to me that a substantial portion of those with cerebral palsy have cerebral palsy as a result of inadequate medical care at some point in time, either during the pregnancy, the labor and delivery, or afterwards. It's essential that those that are not following adequate standards of health care are deterred from careless conduct, from not following protocols, from not following procedures, safety procedures that are set out.
I don't think I really realized the amount of care it was really going to take until she was probably about 8 months old. One day I woke up and went, oh, this kid's, I think she's going to stick around for a while. Oh my God, what am I going to do now? How am I going to support her? We're talking wheelchairs and special car seats and a special van and therapists, and I started to panic, going, I can't do that as a single mom and work. It just floored me.
So of course it's incumbent upon parents to be advocates for their children, to advocate and investigate the causes of the cerebral palsy in the first place, because that can lead to a broader range, more extensive compensation that will improve the life of the child and the life of the entire family, actually. If it appears that the cerebral palsy is attributable to a failure to exercise reasonable medical care, either during the pregnancy or during the labor and delivery, or even afterwards.
Dawn gave me the ability to stay home with my daughter and raise her myself. We have a home that I can raise her in that is wheelchair friendly. I have a van to get around in because I wasn't going to be able to pay just about $40,000 for a van and refit. So he's given me peace of mind, which is kind of bizarre to say.
So it's essential for parents who have children with cerebral palsy to bring forward their cases, and that helps raise the standard. It helps lower the frequency of cerebral palsy as a consequence.
Don't question it, just go for it. If you think that there's any reason why there's some malpractice and you can go after, just go see them and take a burden off your shoulders. At least when it comes to taking care of your kid. Might not solve all your problems, but for the most part, it's helped a lot. a lot.
We can help create the best life possible for you and your child. We'll get you the answers health professionals won't or aren't allowed to give you. The best life possible comes from a settlement or judgment from the insurance company of the health professional who failed to provide adequate medical care. This money will help you get the housing, rehabilitation, accessibility equipment, and the time to enjoy your child. Please know that very few lawyers, even those experienced in medical negligence cases, can competently handle obstetrical negligence cases.